הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה ניי 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 ניי. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה ניי 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 ניי. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. A couple things as we get started. If you have a reading as part of the service, your papers for your reading are on this table, and when I call you up by name, you'll come right to this. There. If you have an aliyah to the Torah, you'll come on up per usual, and we will have you all set on this side. This is folks sitting in the back by the air conditioner. You won't be able to hear things so well, so I'm going to ask you to come forward and sit in these middle seats here. So come on up, stand up. Yep, over this way. There you go. All right, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, friends. So, couple things. First of all, welcome. We're psyched that you're here. If you reach under your seat, you're going to find your black prayer book. This is our Siddur for the day. So if everybody would reach under and take out the black prayer book. This is a highly participatory service, meaning Lauren's going to lead us. We're all going to participate, sometimes with words or readings, sometimes with the prayers themselves, snaps, claps, la-la-las. God understands la-la-las just fine, so that will work beautifully. If you think about it, Lauren acts like a mirror, and the rest of us are a mirror as well, and we're going to shine this light back and forth between our bat mitzvah and the congregation. If you, these back two sections there by Jonathan, who's going to raise his hand, just raise your hand. These back two sections there, that's a mask-only section. So if you wanted to be with just people wearing masks, you can sit right in that section there. It looks like there's a lot of room. You can choose your seat. I'd ask that you turn off your phones, your smartphones, your Apple Watches. If you get a call in the middle of the service, I get to answer it, and that's fun for everybody. Okay? Exits. It's good to know where our exits are. So just take a second and turn around. You got two there. You got exits in the back. You have exits behind me in case we need to leave quickly for any reason. Names. These are important. Okay? Everybody knows Lauren. Cantora soloist Jessica Tillum. I'm Rabbi Spike Anderson. Our Gabbai is Joanne Lipschutz. Joanne, raise your hand right there. Take a moment or two or three, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're in here, turn to the people around you. Hi, my name is. Good to see you. Let's take a second. Let's get to know each other. A shout out to Beverly and Brenda and Mark Winter. We're psyched that you're here online. Friends, there will be a quiz afterwards. Page 3.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה ניי 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 ניי. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה ניי 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 ניי. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Beautiful. So this is, Lauren, this is a rite of passage. We've talked about this. This is the ceremony that you're doing publicly And by the end of it, you are declared a Jewish woman in the eyes of your community. You are going to be leading us in prayer. You're going to be chanting from the Torah in the original, which is very hard. You're going to be giving a drash or a sermonette, interpreting Torah. And in the process, some people are going to say some very nice things about you. Okay? You are before our eyes leading us, and in doing so, you show that you are stepping up as a young adult in our community, which is wonderful. One of the signposts along the way is the Talit presentation. I'm going to call up Larry McCune and Barry Truffleman to come on up. And take your time, guys. I'll just talk as you're coming up this way. So the tradition, Lauren, is that the tallis is only worn by Jewish adults. Come on over here. Only worn by Jewish adults. And so the tradition is last month, stand right here, please. Last month, last week, even yesterday, you weren't allowed to publicly wear a tallis because you were still a kid. Now, on this Shabbat, for the first time, these fine gentlemen are going to be presenting you with your tallis, and you're going to be wearing it publicly for the first time as an outward sign of your Jewish adulthood. So, do you have your paper? Okay. Can I see your paper here? Okay. So here's a microphone. You're going to start with it as this talit. Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. And come nice and close so they can see you. There you go. I'm going to hand you the mic.
As this tallit is draped around your shoulders, may the voices of the generations speak to you. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, a sacred place from which you are connected to all who dwell on earth.
I'll hold for you.
As you are embraced in the folds of this tallit, so too are you wrapped in the loving embrace of your family, community, and this holy congregation. May the simplest of garments always be for you as a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence.
And together.
As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in the talit, we proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
Okay, now Lauren, you're going to say the blessing over the tallis, which you're going to find right there. Right in here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitatech v'tzitzit.
Okay, we say amen. Here you go, guys. You're going to take this. Okay, Lauren, come right here. Just like that. Okay, and I'm going to have you fix her hair a little bit. Got it? Okay, now, Lauren, will you get between these two gentlemen, grandparents, friends, that we know that communities are here for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes those reasons are sad. This one is super happy. And so when we Jews know that we're in the midst of a certain type of time, we pray Shehechianu. Literally, thank you, God, for this moment in time, that we're here, that we're together, and may we have this type of sanctity, this type of moment together, again and again and again. Please join us on page 4.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Give her a little squeeze. There you go. You guys can go on down. Okay. And there's also a ramp right here if that's easier for you. Okay. Okay. Lauren, you're going to lead us on page 5.
God be with me on this occasion as I become a bat mitzvah. Help me make meaningful the covenant you now establish with me. Sustain me with a sense of holiness. Inspire me in a desire to be special. I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, or map out the directions of my life. I only ask that you strengthen within me the desire to mold and shape my life in accordance with your will. In this hour of my bat mitzvah, I invoke your blessings upon my parents and friends, and all who have loved and cared for me, all who have brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and my achievement. You who turn the hearts of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Beautiful. So we're getting ready for Ashrei, which everyone will find on page 11 through 14. Lauren's going to lead us. Ashrei is our prayer of gratitude. And the rabbis of old say one of the ways to really be connected to what is beautiful in this life is to take moments to be aware of what we are each grateful for. So Lauren will lead and we'll all respond every other line.
Ashrei Ashrei Beitecha, Od Yehalelu HaSelah.
Ashrei ha'am shechachalo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Eloha.
Tehillah David, Aramim Ha Elohai HaMelech, Ba'avar HaShim Ha Leolam Ba'ed.
Bechol yom ha'avakecha, v'ha'olam shimcha le'olam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai Hulal Meod, Ve'li Gdulato Ein Heker.
Dor dor shabbat ma'asecha, u'v'ratecha yagidu.
Hadar Kavod Hodecha, V'divrei Niflotecha Asiha.
Ve'ezulatecha yomiru, u'v'ratecha zamena.
Zeherav Tuvha Yabiyu, V'tzidkadha Yeranenu.
Hanun v'rachum Adonai, erech alpayim u'dol chesed.
Tov Adonai Leho, V'rachamav Al Kol Ma'asav.
Yaducha Adonai kol ma'asecha, v'hasidecha yavachuna.
Yoducha Adonai Kol Ma'asecha, V'chasidecha Yevarhucha.
And do the next one, Kavod.
Kavod Malchutai Yomeru, Ugvurata Yedaberu.
Lehodia livnei hadam givurotav, uvod hadam malchuto.
Malchuta Malchut Kol Olamim, Umem Sheltecha, Bechol Dor Vador.
Somech Adonai lechol hanoflim, vezochef lechol hakifufim.
Notain Lehem, Tochlam Beito.
Poteach et yadecha, umaspir lechol chayratzon.
Tzadik Adonai Bechol Yerachav, Bechasid Bechol Ma'asav.
Karov Adonai lechol korav, lechol asher yikra'uha be'emet.
Retzon Yere'av Ya'aseh, Be'et Shavatam Yishma V'Yoshiem.
Shomer Adonai et kol ohovav, ve'et kol hasharim yashmid.
Yevarech Kol Bashar, Shem Kodsho Le'olam Va'ed.
V'anachnu nivarech Yah, me'ata v'ad olam, hallelujah. So take a second, if you will, and think about something in your life right now that you have gratitude for, that you are grateful for. And I'm going to come around Donahue style with a microphone, okay, and tell me what it is that you are grateful for in this moment. We'll start with Mom and Dad.
I'm very grateful to have so many friends and family in one place to celebrate our bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said that more beautifully, but just echo, it's just a thrill to see all of you here with us this evening.
Beautiful. Let's say names. So say your name before you tell us what you're grateful for. Someone want to share? Someone want to share? It's amazing how eyes start averting away as I start walking. What are you grateful for? Yeah, tell us your name.
My name is Clayton Compton, and I'm a great uncle, and glad to be here with family. They're all good people.
Beautiful. Yeah, tell us your name.
I'm Greg, and I'm grateful for the incredible friends and family that the McCune family is.
Beautiful. Guys in the back? Yes, okay. Tell us
I'm
your
Ryan
name.
Soroki, and I'm grateful for my life.
Beautiful. Pass it on down.
I'm Ross Bernstein, and I'm grateful for Ethan.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So everybody, take a moment and think to yourself what it is that you're grateful for on this day, in this space, with these good people, and in this place. We rise for our Baruch, which you'll find on page 15.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai. Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai. Hamevorach. Hamevorach. Leolam vaed. Hamevorach. Hamevorach. Leolam vaed.
On page 17, Lauren, you'll find Ma'ariv, Aravim, our prayer as we get ready for the evening to come. Of course, the Jewish day starts at night. That's how we do things. And so each day and each evening, one of the things the rabbis through these prayers are trying to have us do is to realize that we have a chance to create ourselves anew each day, that we're not locked into the patterns of yesterday or yesteryear. How we think, how we speak to others, the choices that we make, that we create for ourselves and our home and our circles all the way out through the ends of the earth every day that we live. Would you lead us on page 17, Ma'ariv Aravim?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Bechochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mashane itim umachlif et hazmanim, umasder et hakokavim, b'mishmero tehem barakia kirtsono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei hoshech v'hoshech mipnei or. B'ma'ariv arav yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tsevaot shemo, El Chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Beautiful. We're getting ready for Ahava Rabbah on page 18, Lauren, which speaks about God's profound love for each and every one of us. Now, Rhett and Meryl, you have two children, two girls, and they're both very different from each other. And yet you have eternal love, profound, deep, bottomless love for each one of them. The love that you feel for one doesn't take away at all from the love that you have for the other. And that's what the sages want us to recall as we come to this, that God has room enough for love, deep, profound, eternal love for every single one of us, not just Jews, non-Jews, every single person on earth. Ahava Rabbah, page 18.
Ahava olam ve'Yisrael amha ahavta. Torah umitzvot, hukim umishpatim, otanu limadata. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochvenu uvkumenu, nasiach behukecha. Nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uvmitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem hayenu, ve'orech yamenu, uvahem nehege yomam v'layla. Va'ahavtaha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Okay, ba'ahava, with love. So we get it ready for our Shema, our central mantra, if you will. And in doing so, we connect to the weave that we've been doing, Lauren, since the moment you learned your first Shema till now, and every other liminal time in your life, Shema will take you back to this moment. On page 21, we feel our feet on the floor, hands over our eyes, and we get ready for Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. So Lauren, the V'ahavta, which you'll find on page 22, is the second part of the Shema. And the V'ahavta is a reminder, it's a prayer that essentially asks a simple question. When is it that we're supposed to lead with our very best selves? When are we supposed to be God-centric, lead with our best Jewish aspirations? And the answer that you find, that we'll chant in a moment in the V'ahavta, is, well, when we sit down and when we stand up, when we're at home, when we're on the way. In other words, we're supposed to be our best selves always. Now that might sound like a good answer, but it's actually not a good answer. How can you be your best self always? How can you be mindful of your best aspirational qualities always? And so the V'ahavta is a reminder that we have reminders all around us. When we see that mezuzah on the door, oh, we've got a certain way that we could be. When you see the Judaica in your home, when you're in your synagogue, when you're at your Jewish school, right? There are reminders all around us. Why? Because there's other things that attempt to get our attention in the world. Rabbi Rachel last night gave the sermon on Kanye West and what's happening with the anti-Semitism he puts out in the world. There's all sorts of things that are vying for our attention, your attention, which are contradictory, frankly, to what Judaism puts forward. V'ahavta is a reminder that we have reminders all around, that we have a best self, and it helps us keep focused. It helps us get back on track when we get off track. V'ahavta, friends, is on page 22.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha b'divartam bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvleftecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam leot hayadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha uktavtam hamezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha leman tizkeru v'ashitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim l'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti ehem me'eretz Mitzrayim li'yot lehem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem
Adonai Elohechem Emet. I'd like to invite to the choir mic right below Roz and Jerry Dermer and Larry McCune to lead us in Geulah on page 23. So this is a responsive prayer. They're going to lead us with the italics, and everybody is going with a bold, and we all are going to respond with the italics. Whenever you're ready. Together, you are in the courage with which we overcame 40 years of desert wandering. forgives. We praise you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Michamocha, page 25. Page 26, we have our Amidah prayer. Lauren, this central standing prayer begins by asking for the intentions that we have here to somehow transfer to our lips, our words, and our actions, our hands. And this standing prayer evokes this conversation that we can have with God, but it's not a cold call. It's saying essentially, hey God, remember, we've got what in Judaism we call yichus. We've got a connection already. You are the God of parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, going all the way back to the beginning. This is a familiar conversation, an expected one, a desired one, and not just for you, of course, but for everybody here. We rise for our Amidah on page 26. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zoker Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Gula Libnei B'neihem, Leman Shelo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav laHoshia, Mashiv haruach u'moriv haGashem, Mechalkel chayim v'chesed, Mechayeh hakol berachami rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Rishenei afar, Michamocha b'gevurot, Umido melech, Melech meimid, Umekayem, Umatmiach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah lechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. I'd like to invite Jackie and David Truffleman to lead us on page 28. There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know. Together, there's holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships. There's holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Page 30, Kedusha.
Ata kadosh usimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'kol yom yahalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
I'd like to invite up Joanne Truffelman, page 31, to lead us whenever you're ready. Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit. It mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul. Shabbat is a symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter. Shabbat nurtures family life and love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy. Shabbat is our hope, the calm haven where all the weary find rest. With the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world. Yismechu, page 31.
Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadashei, mekadashei shevi Shabbat, kulam yisbehu, v'yitengu metu b'cha Shabbat.
Yismechu v'malachutecha,
shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Uvashvi ratzira bo v'kidashto Shabbat. Hemdat yamim oto karata Shabbat.
Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat.
Zecher l'masei, l'masei b'reishit Shabbat. Zecher l'masei, l'masei b'reishit Shabbat.
Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Please be seated. I'd like to invite up Robert Winter and Stephen Winter on page 32. Inspire us to banish hatred, war, bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family, doing your will in love and peace. You have given us the power, O God, to bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it, and love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness, wisdom, and love. Then shall we learn to live in peace. Okay, let's come sit down. So friends, I invite you to have a moment of silent prayer, communion, connection, and in the silence in this place, what is it that you're hearing and saying? rabbis say that whenever we get together, we're obligated to pray for peace, peace amongst nations, peace amongst neighbors, peace in our own hearts. Shalom Rav, page 34.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol leid ubechol shah bishnamecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Beautiful. Lauren, come on up. I'm going to invite your parents, Brett and Merrill, to meet you right up here on the BMO. There's a parent blessing on page 36. And this blessing, Brett and Merrill, is one that is sort of a mashup from the rabbis of the Talmud. These rabbis were these great sages, but they're also parents. And so their words to their own children and the next generation gets passed down through the millennia until this day where you're passing them on to your own daughter. So square up with mom and dad so they can see you.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be.
May your heart be filled with intuition and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue and your vision be on a straight path before you.
May your eyes shine with the light of holy words and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom and your fulfillment be in righteousness.
A Jewish home opens its heart and its link to the generations is proclaimed. Today, our child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah and is welcomed into the congregation.
May this moment be blessed.
Okay, hug, hug, kiss, kiss. Parents, stay up here, please. We're going to transition to our Torah service on page 37. I'd like to invite up Mary Julia and Darnley McCune to open the Ark, invite up Kara McCune and Luke Truffleman to undress the Torah, and invite grandparents to come up to the Bima for the passing of the Torah, and that's Arlene and Barry Truffleman, Roz and Jerry Dermer, Larry McCune, Joanne Lipschutz, our Gabbai, is going to come on up. Please rise, everybody, page 37.
Keep Mitzion Teitzei Torah. Keep Mitzion Teitzei Torah. Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim.
Grandparents, come over here.
Baruch Shenatan
Right like this.
Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato.
Hi, Lauren. I want you to take a moment, okay? And I want you to look out here at all the people who are here because they love and support you. Go ahead and give her a wave and her eyes meet yours. Look at that. That's your crew. This is your people. It's amazing. Lauren, you and the Torah are here because of decisions that have come before you from your parents. Go ahead and take a look. Grandparents, you can see them behind. And if you look behind your grandparents, you're going to see your great-grandparents. You know what I mean by that? Yeah, I know you do. And your parents and your grandparents definitely do. Behind your great-grandparents, you're going to see your great-great-grandparents. And great-great-great-great-great-great. We believe that the Jewish generations are here and they're winding themselves around this sanctuary, that they're here and they're smiling because of what we're doing and who you have become. Almost like all of history has been set up for this moment for you to receive the Torah through the generations and receive it today at your bat mitzvah. So now symbolically, you just give it a little touch and a kiss, whatever you like. There we go. Okay. All right. Now pass Torah to Dad. Okay. Actually, here we go. And I'm going to square up, and Dad's going to put Torah onto your right shoulder. Okay. Make sure that you have it. You got it? Okay, you're going to turn this way. Dad's hand's going to be on your shoulder right here.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
We're going to turn to the ark.
Gadol Adonai Tiyu Moroma, Shemo Lecha Adonai Hagedula v'Hagevura v'Hatiferet v'Hanetzach v'Hahod Ki ho b'Shemayim u'va'aretz Ki ho b'Shemayim u'va'aretz Lecha Adonai hamamlacha Hamid na'aseh bechol rosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lehar kosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lehar kosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you, ark openers and closers. You can be seated. Everyone can be seated. So if you reach under your chair, you will find a blue book that says The Torah. It is edited by Gunther Plaut, Zikaron Libracha, and you can turn in that book to page 57, and you will see Parshat Noach, the story of Noah. This is the Torah portion that we're going to be chanting and reading today. Now, raise your hand if this is your first bar bat mitzvah ever. Okay, well, you picked a very good one to come to. Raise your hand if you've been to 10 or fewer bar bat mitzvahs. 50 or fewer bar bat mitzvahs. I'm watching this side over here. Okay. 100 or fewer bar bat mitzvahs. How about more than 100? More than 100? Okay, that's good. Here's what I want you to remember. Whether this is your first one or your 101st one, what Lauren is doing is hard. It takes a lot of work to be able to chant in the language that she wasn't born speaking, to be able to chant in the original without cantillation marks, without vowels, and her voice comes off of the Torah and raises to the heavens, and in doing so you lift us with you. Parsha Noah is an amazing story. We think it's a cutesy little story because of the animals. It's actually not cutesy, it's super dark. Lauren's going to tell you all about it. Okay? This is a seminal moment. Okay, so we're going to call up some folks who are important in your life. They're going to be chanting the blessing before and after. You're going to be chanting the Torah. And then at the very end, we have you sit and then stand up again, and this is your maftir. So come on over, folks. We first call up Arlene and Barry Truffleman. Ya'amdu, Baruch ben Chaim v'Sara, or the Vorabat Shevilea, La'alot L'Torah. So come on over here.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher b'char banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Beautiful. Okay, so now we open up Torah. Okay, I'm going to have you take your hand and place it right here. That way.
Should I start? Eile toldo Noach, ish sadik, tamim haya b'dorotav, et ha'elohim hi'alech Noach, vayolid Noach shlosha vanim, et Shem, et Ham, ve'et Yafet, vatishahet ha'aretz lifnei ha'elohim, vatimale ha'aretz hamas.
Beautiful. Okay, and so we're going to, on page 40, the blessings after.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet. V'chayei olam nata b'dokeinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Beautiful. Give her a little hug and a kiss. Nicely done. And you're going to go right on the other side of Gabbai and hang out here. For our second aliyah, we call up Amy Seltzer and Lucy and Noam Rosinas. Ya'amdu Chana Shoshana bat Shlomo ve'Leah bat Avraham v'Sara ve'Noam bat Yitzchak ve'Ruth la'alot l'Torah. Tzitzit. Touch and kiss right there. And when you're ready, Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. We take your hand up right here.
Vayar Elohim et ha'aretz v'hinei nishchata ki hishi kol basar et darko al ha'aretz. Vayomer Elohim le'Noach Kate kol basar ba'lefanai ki mala ha'aretz hamas mipnehem v'hineni mashitam et ha'aretz. Aseh leha teva atse gofer kinim ta'aseh et ha'teva v'kafar ta'ota mibai umihutz ba'kofer.
Beautiful. Tzitzit, touch and kiss right here. Okay, whenever you're ready.
melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam ata b'tochenu, baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Beautiful. Give her a little hug and a kiss.
Good job,
Slide right over. For our third aliyah, we call up proud parents Merrill and Brett McCune. Ya'amdu Benjamin ben Arya Veshoshana Ved Basha Bat Baruch Ora Devora La'alot LeTorah. Seat. Give a touch and kiss right there. And Baruch when you're ready.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Now hold on right there.
B'zeh asher ta'aseh ota shelosh me'ot amah, orech hateva hamishim amah rochba, u'shloshim amah komata. Zohar ta'aseh l'teva, be'el amah tachelena milmala, ufetach hateva betida tasim tachtim shenim ushlishim ta'asecha, va'ani hineni mevi et hamabul mayim al haaretz l'shahid kol basar, asher bo ruach hayim mitahat hashamayim kol asher ba'aretz yigva.
Beautiful. Just mark your spot. Okay. You can take your seat. Touch and kiss right here, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay. Give her a squeeze. Okay. And parents, stay up here. Lauren, I'm going to have you take a seat for a second. Don't get too comfortable. I'm asking you to sit down just so I can ask you to stand up again. So Lauren, there's an idea, of course, that when you're at your final piece of your Torah reading, your maftir, that you make an aliyah l'Torah, that you're ascending, aliyah, you're ascending physically up to the bima, but also there's a spiritual ascent. Okay? The thought is that you're literally coming to a higher spiritual plane in this moment, and it's in this moment that you become bat mitzvah. So I'm going to call you up. Ta'amod, Shena bat Benjamin v'basha la'alot l'Torah. And you take your seat, and you're going to touch and kiss right here. Okay. And when you're ready,
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'hakimoti epriti itach, uvata el hateva, ata uvaneha vishteha unshevaneha itach, umikol hahai, mikol basar, shanai mikol tavo el hateva, lechachayo itach, zohar unkeva yiu. Meha'of laminehu, umin ha'behema lamina mikol, remes ha'adama limine, shanai mikol, yavo elecha lechachayo.
Beautiful. Okay. So take your seat and touch and kiss that last word there. Okay. When you're ready, Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu, baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay. Parents, come and stand right behind Lauren. I'm going to ask everyone to rise, please. Beautifully done, beautifully chanted. And in front of the open Torah, we are going to give you a special Misha Berach blessing, which you'll find on page 41 if people want to follow along. The idea, Lauren, is that this moment and this day serves as a spiritual cornerstone for you to push off of, to go wherever you're going to go, and I'm very curious to see where that is, but also to always find your way back to. So now with the open Torah and your parents on either side of you in front of the congregation, we give you a special Misha Berach blessing for your spiritual development. Misha Berach Avotenu v'Imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, U'Yivarech et Shena bat Benyamin v'Basha, She'agia le'mitzvot la'alta l'Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu yismeireha v'chayeha, v'chanan et liba liyot shalom im Adonai Eloheha, L'go Torah tola lecha bidracha v'lishmor mitzvotav v'timsechen v'sechel tov b'nei Elohim v'adam v'nomar. Amen. May the God who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Lauren, who's come up for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, and fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and all people, and to that we can all say, Amen. Remain standing for Hagban Galila, the lifting and dressing of the Torah. I'd like to invite up Kara McCune and Luke Truffleman to dress the Torah.
וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. ילה לי 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 לי
Please be seated. So one of the things that Lauren's been working on for the past few months is not just how to lead our service beautifully, which you've done beautifully, and not just to chant Torah, but to interpret Torah. It's called the Devar Torah, or a drash, or a sermonette. The idea is that the words that you've been studying come through you uniquely. You are your own crystal, your own diamond. The Torah is the light that comes through, and the reflection and refraction is uniquely yours. So now Lauren's going to share some words of Torah with us as part of her Devar Torah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion is Noah from the book of Genesis. Noah lived 10 generations after Adam and Eve. At this point, humans haven't been around that long. God notices how the earth got so Hamas, also known as evil. At this point, God is regretting ever creating humans. The rabbis actually have a word for what is going on with all the evil in the world called senseless violence. When God created people, he envisioned them to be the opposite of senseless violence. However, this wasn't the case, and God regretted ever creating man. God decided he wanted a clean slate on the earth, and was planning to wipe out the entire human population. But God noticed Noah. Noah is what the rabbis call an Ish Tzaddik, also known as a righteous man in his generation. His generation is an important part because Noah is nowhere near the level of good as some of the role models later on, like Moses, but he is an average man among brutal criminals. God couldn't let himself kill an innocent man that didn't deserve to die. Instead, God decided that Noah deserved to live. God then tells Noah that he is going to drown the world. Noah didn't have anyone before him to learn from, so instead of arguing back, he just did nothing. Judaism is all about speaking truth to power, but Noah didn't realize this. Instead, to Noah, God was a huge, big, and powerful God. Many rabbis feel angry that Noah didn't argue back with God and that killing all life is unfair because humans are only a small percent of all the life on earth. Also, newborn babies couldn't do any harm to the world, so why did they have to die? Rabbis think this was a harsh punishment and think God could have helped the people perform teshuvah instead. Teshuvah is changing our behavior to get a second chance. God tells Noah to build an ark made of gopher wood. He told Noah to bring 7 of every kosher animal and 2 of every non-kosher animal. God told Noah also to bring his family because Noah would never leave his family behind to die and only save himself. The Torah doesn't tell us if his family was average or bad. They are just considered neutral. Noah's family consisted of Noah's wife, Naamah, and his 3 sons and their wives. Noah's 3 sons' names were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem means name, Ham means hot, and Japheth means vanity. God told Noah to build a huge skylight in the middle of the ark for a few reasons. The first reason is to let in light. The second reason was fresh air, because it must have smelled terrible to have to live with all those animals. The final reason was so Noah could hear the screams of the people dying. The reasoning behind this is that God wants Noah to realize that people are dying and fighting for their lives when Noah gets to be in his comfy bubble. We shouldn't be isolated, because when we are isolated, we aren't aware. When we are aware, we can try and change things because we know what is going on. Noah's punishment for not arguing back with God was having to stand on the deck of the ark and watch the people drown. It was 40 days and 40 nights before the rain finally stopped. After 180 days of being on the ark, Noah let out a raven to see if there is any dry land. After thinking about it, 180 days is a long time. Noah and his family spent 6 months living on an ark full of animals. When the raven didn't come back, Noah assumed that the raven had either died or found land. Noah waited 7 days before he sent out a dove, which came back with an olive branch. This may seem like 2 ordinary birds, but it has a lot more meaning to it. Even if the raven found land, the raven never thought to give Noah a sign that it was safe to leave. If the raven didn't die, that most likely means that the raven found land and decided to keep the information for itself. The raven was selfish and was only watching out for itself. When the dove came back with an olive branch, it represented loyalty. The dove was selfless and wanted to show Noah that there was dry land. The dove is what brought Noah hope. It's no surprise that the international sign of peace is a dove with an olive branch. The raven represents who Noah was, all about only taking care of himself, and the dove represents who Noah should have been, someone who took care of himself and other people. When everyone finally made it off the ark, God decided to change things around. For those who don't know, a covenant is a promise. God decided to make the rainbow the first covenant. The rainbow represents a sign of good after bad. It's exactly like a rainstorm. Sometimes after a bad storm, a beautiful rainbow appears in the sky. It is the good after the bad. A rainbow looks like an upside-down arc. Whenever people saw a rainbow, God wanted it to be a reminder of what happened and show that it would never happen again. Becoming a bat mitzvah has been a very special experience for me. Although it can be stressful, it is also very rewarding in the end. I've been learning my Torah portion for months. When I finished learning it and I looked over it, it was very awakening. I had been learning it in small chunks, and then one day I realized that I now know how to chant 4 aliyot. It was most definitely a rewarding experience. Torah and prayers aren't the only things that I am learning from this experience. Becoming a bat mitzvah has also taught me how to participate and be active in the Jewish community. In September, I planned what is called my mitzvah project. For those who don't know, a mitzvah project is doing a mitzvah that is helping benefit the community around me. For my mitzvah project, I wanted to help the Ukrainian refugees that came to Atlanta. I sold cookies and drinks in my house, and I also collected donations. I ended up raising over $1,000, and I received hundreds of items that the family needed. All of the money and donations went to ORA, also known as Atlanta Ukrainian Evacuee Relief Assistance. Most of the refugees had good lives in Ukraine, but when they had to flee, they could only take with them what they could carry. They don't have some of the most basic necessities, such as mattresses, towels, and dishes. It made me feel good knowing I was able to make a difference in their lives. When I first chose my mitzvah project, I hadn't realized how much it relates to Noach. The Ukrainians are like no one is family. The Ukrainians were forced from their homes because of evil people. Noah and his family were forced from their home because of the bad people in the world. I am trying to be like the dove for the Ukrainian refugees and give them hope. By helping the Ukrainians, it is showing them that the community is there for them and is there to support them. Our community is like the safe haven, and America is like the Ukrainians' ark. One value my family has always had is welcoming people into our home. Welcoming people means makvilim anashim babarkia in Hebrew. In the Torah, there are many examples of this trait, and we are taught this is an important trait to have. My family has always hosted the holidays. I've been taught to cook and set the table since I was little, to welcome people into our home since I was little. I feel like I can relate to this in a broader way also. I feel helping the Ukrainian refugees is my way of welcoming them into the community. When we are helping them, it shows that we are there for them and we have their backs. I will carry this character trait with me my whole life because I feel this is a very important one. I am glad my family has taught me this since I was young. I would not be able to be up here if it weren't for a number of people helping me and supporting me along my journey to become a bat mitzvah. Thank you so much to everyone that is here. I appreciate everyone being here to support me so much. I especially appreciate the friends and family from out of town. Thank you to Rabbi Spike, Rabbi Rachel, Rabbi Max, and cancer soloist Jessica. Thank you, Mr. Weismark, for tutoring me. I wouldn't be able to do all this if it wasn't for you. Thank you to Grandma Roz and Poppy. I love all of our adventures together. Whether it's going to the Empire State Building or Ellis Island, those are memories I'll never forget. Thank you, Grandpa Larry. I love our tradition of carving pumpkins every year. Whenever I'm with you, we are always doing something fun. Thank you, Grandpa Barry. I love our tradition of making hamantash in every Purim. I'll also never forget always getting yogurt when you and Grandma picked me up from school. Thank you, Grandma Arlene. I always appreciate you having my back when I'm negotiating with my mom. You always cook the best food, and you have a special eye for when I need help shopping. Thank you, Carol, also known as Kuru. I say your nickname in a loving way. You are always there to back me up when I'm trying to convince Mom and Dad of something. I love competing with you, whatever the subject is. You never fail to put a smile on my face, and you always make me laugh. Thank you, Dad. I may not admit it, but occasionally some of your dad jokes are actually funny. I love biking to Starbucks with you. I know I can count on you to help me with homework. You are also constantly pushing me to do my best, and I appreciate that. Sports teams were always so much more fun when you coached them. I will always remember our trips, just the two of us, to various places. I love you so much. Thank you, Mom. You are always working so hard to make me happy. I know you are there to help me with whatever I need. I love being able to talk to you about whatever is on my mind. Not many other moms would agree to take our carpool to Waffle House when it was almost midnight. I enjoy helping you make the holidays every year, and it's a tradition I'll never forget. This entire event would not be possible without you. I love you so much. Thank you again to everyone that came. I appreciate your support. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Wow. So I don't think anybody doubts that we just heard from a young woman. And I have to tell you, Lauren, I have some great things to say about you and what you've just said, but I loved watching the faces of your grandparents and your sister and your parents when you were speaking to them. There's a lot of love in this room, a lot of love for you, and boy, is everybody lucky. Friends, the blessing for America is on page 44. You can see that Lauren is standing between these two flags here, the American flag and the Israeli flag. We as American Jews, these are our two homes. We'll say a prayer for the USA and then a prayer for Israel right afterwards. If you'll join me on page 44 together. Oh God, we invoke your blessing upon our country, the United States of America, as we strive to be a beacon of light in a darkening world. Sustain us during times of uncertainty. Guard us from calamity and injury. Give us the courage to confront evil. Enlighten us with your wisdom, and sustain with your power those whom the people have granted authority, the President, their advisors, and all who are entrusted with our safety. May peace and goodwill, courage, understanding, and hope prevail among all the inhabitants of our land. May your goodness spread its blessing among us and exalt our nation in righteousness. And together we say, Amen. Prayer for the state of Israel on page 45.
Avinu Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'go'alo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Simcha Geulateinu.
Please join me in the English. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks our dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And we say, Amen.
Avinu Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'go'alo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Simcha Geulateinu.
I'd like to invite up Cindy and Clayton Compton and Harriet Benline to open the ark. We all rise for a time on page 39.
Sorry, that's 45, misprint. Page 45. Eitz Chaim hi lamahazikim ba v'tom leha meushar tiracheya darkei noam v'chol nativotecha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadish Yameinu Chadish Yameinu kekedem.
Please be seated. Thanks. Lauren, come on up here. Stand right here. So, Lauren, it has been, I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. Of all the things that I get to do and we get to do as rabbi and clergy here at Temple Emanu-El, including uplifting high holidays and ruckus Friday nights and weddings, the most favorite thing that we do here is exactly what you and I have been doing for the last couple months, which is getting to know each other at a pretty deep level and studying Torah Lishma, study for the sake of higher thought, higher thinking. Your dad in my study right before we came out for the service commented about your depth, that you've always been deep. And I don't know if you've always been deep, your dad knows that, but I can tell you with me, real depth, real understanding, and to be able to delve into this Torah portion and quickly see it's not about cutesy two-by-twosies, right? That there's this skylight, and we have this obligation to be the dove and not the raven. And what does it mean to speak truth to power in a world where we are cowered by forces all around us all the time? For you as a teenager, it's peer pressure. Right? That's the big thing, peer pressure. What are your friends doing? What's the community doing? For adults, we have our own form of peer pressure in politics and media. Right? It's very hard to speak truth to power. Your Torah portion is an example. You are an example. The idea that you took your mitzvah project and decided to be the dove, to create an ark for those who are coming to these shores to help them. Not only with the material things that they need, Dayenu, but a way, as you said, of welcoming them to your home, this place that we've called home, the American Jews. It's an inspiration to have you lead us like that and for everyone to see. You made a comment that these are the lessons that you'll learn and that you'll carry on forward, not just to be the dove, but to be welcoming into your home like you've been taught to do by your parents and grandparents. And in doing so, you raise us all up. My blessing and my encouragement for you is to keep on doing this. Be welcoming. Be kind. There's a lot of people who are going to tell you that kindness is a weakness. It's not. It's a strength. Be the dove, not the raven. Yes, watch out for yourself, but when you can, go to the extremes to help others as well. It's the example from Noah, which comes down through the ages, and to you today. You shared this with us. You raise us all up. So now, in a moment, I'll ask everyone to rise, please. I want to point out, Lauren, that you are underneath the Ner Tamid, the eternal light of the Jewish people, between our two homes, the flags of our two homes, the Torah at your back, your community and family all around you, and in this moment, we offer you the priestly benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yaher Adonai pano v'dacha v'yikoneka.
May God's countenance shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yis Adonai pano v'lecha v'yasenecha shalom.
May God's face turn toward you, Lauren, and grant you the greatest gift of all, which you have right now. Feet on the ground, surrounded by family and friends and tradition, opportunity and future, a sense of wholeness, a sense of completeness, a sense of peace. And we all say, Amen. Okay, you can be seated unless you are Lauren's mom and dad, and then come on up, and you're going to say some nice things about her.
Lauren, wow, we can't believe this big day is finally here. Lots of planning, studying, and here we are. We never had any doubt that you would be nothing less than fabulous, but like you always do, you blew us away with your poise and delivery.
And as you often like to say in jest, you're done. You slayed the day, boom, roasted, relax. A Shirley Temple is in your future. 13 years ago, we were waiting for you to enter this world. For 2 weeks, you had us all believing any day now, but to no surprise, the planner you are, you waited until your exact official due date to enter this world. While we often joke that Bailey is our firstborn, with no doubt you're the one that made us a mother and father. The day you were born was the most gorgeous, perfect fall day, and was made even more beautiful when we saw your face.
You started out in this world easy, such a carefree, easygoing baby. At 8 weeks, you were already earning frequent flyer travel awards and have loved to be on the go ever since. Laughter, silliness, giggles, and smiles. Your big brown eyes speak for themselves. From early on, you soaked it all in, took in the world around you, and demonstrated such thoughtfulness. From the moment you can say why, you never stopped. Always questioning and pushing the why behind it all, you demonstrated compassion from early on and deeply cared about your friends, family, and even kids and adults you didn't know. As you grew up, that didn't stop. You have a way at looking at the world in ways that most would just take for granted. You learned early on the value of $1, especially when we took you to the dollar store, and you saw even in the dollar store your money didn't go very far. As a result, you quickly learned how many dollars you can make from bake sales. You loved to earn money, so weekend bake sales in the neighborhood and parks became your thing. But you also learned the importance of saving it for bigger things one day ahead. And as you got older, you learned the importance of giving back. So it's no surprise that you carried on this tradition of bake sales with your mitzvah project, where you raise money for Ukrainian refugees that settled in Atlanta. You've always been so creative from a young age, whether it was birthdays or special occasions, you took charge and planned something special, from anniversary dinners so thoughtfully planned for us, or planning special birthday treats. As you got older and found a love for video, you started creating montages for birthday celebrations, family trivia games, and even COVID Zoom Passover Seder's. Family always was in awe of you, your organization, and the special attention you paid and how special you made others feel. But our dear Lauren, we also know you are steadfast and determined and often like to take, do we dare say, some control? There's no surprising you until maybe later tonight. because that would mean you weren't in control, planning what will happen when at your birthday parties, who will sit where at holiday dinners, and what games will be played when. PowerPoint presentations to build your case as to why you should have TikTok, why you should get a phone, and even why Daddy should buy a new tie for today. Always pitching and wishing, a little begging, but always with effort behind what you set your mind out to do, and we give you lots of credit for that.
And actually, this is not on what we prepared, but I'm not usually very emotional, but when you said that some of my jokes were funny, I almost lost it. That's what dads strive for, to get some of your jokes to hit. This determination and strong will we know will serve you well as you become a young adult and continue to grow into a young woman. You know who you are, demonstrate discipline already, and you know what you want in life, and you already are on a mission to get it. Whatever you become, we have no doubt you will be successful in whatever you do. Your teachers have always adored you and think you're the sweetest little angel. Watching you grow up has been such a joy for us as we became a family of 4 with Kara. Our family was complete. From the screams of joy when you learned you were having a sister to the excitement you showed when meeting her for the first time in the hospital. While you will not often admit it, those tender moments you helped Kara and even are caught laughing and playing with her bring such happiness to us.
So many special moments, travel as a family, and our girls' New York City excursions, exploring, walking, and more walking. My favorite time with you is just chilling in your bed and chatting, and I especially love when you ask, what's the tea? Having these shared moments where we can gossip and laugh together at the most mundane things are just some of my favorites, and sometimes even making fun of Dad and Kara too. It's fun to see your sarcastic side peek out, so much so that you even give Dad a run for his money at times. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for you, except maybe a quick trip, giving up a quick trip to FedEx and UPS, processing your returns.
Lauren, my most favorite times with you are when you do the things that we don't plan. When you don't try to be funny, you're actually really funny. And when you don't plan something but it happens, you make it work the best. I love it when you kind of whisper a smart aleck remark to me that no one else can hear, because it makes me feel like at least I've passed one thing on to you. You're a better student than I was, and I love that you're determined to blaze your own path in life, not doing or going to places where your parents have been. You sometimes fight with your sister and mom, and you give me looks virtually every day, but I just swallow my thoughts and hope you will think that I'm less annoying and embarrassing when you're no longer a teenager. I will always be embarrassing, but at least less annoying. Whatever you're doing, please keep doing it. I know you don't want us on your shoulders, but we're always behind your back.
We're always here for you. We'll always be your biggest champions, watching you shine and thrive. And while you truly have become a teen before turning 13, we know deep down inside we don't embarrass you all that much, and we aren't so bad to hang out with. Family is everything, so don't forget that. We love you dearly and couldn't be prouder of who you are today and what we know you will become. Look around today. Take a look. See all your friends and family from near and far to celebrate you. Revel in the moment, and let this be just one of the many special moments to celebrate as you become a bat mitzvah. The world is brighter because of you. We've got our bets on you and know today is just the beginning of so many more accomplishments. So let's just say, don't stop now. We love you so very much.
Beautiful. Okay, parents, stay right up here with us, please. Kara, why don't you come on up as well? We're going to rise everyone to page 46 for Lenu. And can we have the sisters open the ark together?
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama, shelo sam kelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamalchim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech kol
close the ark. Family to the bema, please. Congregation, you can be seated. We get ready for our mourner's Kaddish on page 48. Come on, right up here. So Lauren, we talked about how the folks from your generations, we believe that they're here and that they're smiling because of who you are and what you're doing today. Your family today especially remembers Lillian and Charles Sonnenblum, Selma and Henry Truffleman, Gertrude and Benjamin Rosenblum, and Laura and Dennis McCune. If you are in the first 30 days of mourning a loved one's passing, we ask you to rise now and be recognized. If you're in the first year of mourning a loved one's passing, we invite you to rise now and be recognized. Please remain standing. If you are commemorating the yard site, the death anniversary of a loved one's passing this Shabbat, we ask you to rise now and be recognized. And if it is your custom to rise in solidarity, we invite you to do so now, either solidarity for those standing or for the 6 million who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 48. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash Shmei Rabbah ve'omad yivrach yiroteh v'yamlich machuteh v'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'galav v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei omaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh. Vita dar, vita la, shme de kutsha, richu, la ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, dami rambi oma v'imru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imru mav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
Oseh shalom b'imrovav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imrovav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, amen.
We conclude with our Havdalah service, which you'll find on page 50. An announcement before we light the Havdalah candle. Lauren's friends need to go to their bus to get a ride to the party. It'll be right out front as soon as we're done with Havdalah. The McCune family looks forward to greeting everyone at the party, but they're going to slip out the back and let them get out first so they can get to where they need to go, and they will meet you there. Does that sound okay? Okay, super. So, McCune family, come on down. Friends, we begin our Shabbat each week by lighting 2 candles, and we end with Havdalah, which is a separation between Shabbat and the rest of the week, by lighting not candles, but really a torch. 5 or 6, depending on the candle. Wicks intertwine like a family, like a community, becoming a torch. Hold that nice and straight. Okay, here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Tzivotenu hu mikol, Zarenu v'chaspenu yar bekachol, v'chakochavim balayla. Eliyahu hanavi, Eliyahu hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu hagilati. B'meira b'yameinu, Yavo eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David. Simen Tova, Mazel Tova, Mazel Tova, Simen Tova, Simen Tova, Mazel Tova, Mazel Tova, Simen Tova, Simen Tova, Mazel Tova, Mazel Tova, Simen Tova. Elanu, 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 Uvachol Yisrael. Elanu, Elanu, Uvachol Yisrael. Elanu, Elanu, Uvachol Yisrael. Elanu, Elanu, Uvachol Yisrael. Mazel tov, everybody.